Hello and good afternoon. It's Kelli, your family history safari guide, and Nathan. He wanted to join me today because he heard me preparing about wanting to do a little video on journaling. So he grabbed his hat and he's ready. But he says he's always wanted to be a journalist. Well, Nathan, journaling and being a journalist are not the same thing, okay? It's not to say that you can't journal. You definitely can. Journalists can keep a journal, and they probably do. I'm sure they do keep a journal of their work and what they're doing. But in my presentation today, that's a little different. Okay, so sit back and see if you can see the difference today. Okay, and he grabbed his hat because he thinks this looks like private eye, not a private eye, a newspaper guy. So and I'm trying to tell him the hat doesn't make the person. But I'm trying to tell myself that too. I got the same problem that maybe having a hat is going to make me a great safari guide. But anyway, thank you, Nathan, for joining us. And keep your hat on. All right, I'm going to share my screen. We are going to talk about journaling today. I love journaling. It's something that I try to do. I'm not real regular with it, but it's something that I have a firm belief that it works for people. So here's some simple ideas, simple things that you're just going to love to help you keep a journal, okay? Journaling, or that journey to document your life. So tell me, give me some reasons here. Why don't you keep a journal? Why don't I keep a journal? Why don't we keep a journal? What's holding us back? Well, I think the number one reason is we don't think we have the time. We have lots of things going on in our life, and keeping a journal does take time. But the kicker here, the irony here is that if you sit down later and say, I'm going to do it when I have time, you don't remember what you're going to write, let alone what really happened. So you can't really put it down. And so it's like it never happened. So if you don't make the time, pretty soon you won't have the time. Or maybe you're like this guy, what? I hate to write. It's like torture. I don't know what I'm going to say. What's there? It just, people, and furthermore, people aren't going to like what I write. I mean, what my ancestors, my children, my descendants, they're not going to read what I wrote. It's just too painful for them. Or maybe you are just a little bit disappointed in yourself. Maybe you have 10 journals sitting on their shelves at your house, and you've started and then you've done it really good. You've been like dynamite for a couple months, and then something happens and you don't. And then you feel guilty, and 3, 4, 5 months pass by before you know it, a couple of years have. You just have all these empty journals that you started and never completed. You feel bad about yourself, okay? But you know what? I'm here to say there's nothing more disappointing than the next slide, okay? I think the bottom line, the number one reason and the bottom excuse for all these that I've talked about is that we're just too lazy, okay? We just lack the motivation. It takes a little bit too much effort. It just takes a little, I just don't want if I even try for all these reasons, because maybe you've disappointed yourself. But this is the easiest thing to do, is do that. Well, I'm here to tell you, get off that couch, because keeping a journal is therapeutic. It's so much better than doing nothing. Nothing produces nothing. So at least do something, write something, do it, okay? Journaling, did you know, helps clarify your feelings and your thoughts. As you're writing, pretty soon you understand things and things become clearer. Journaling it becomes a journey of your life of getting to know yourself. You know, you've written for pretty steady for a couple of months now, and you go back and you start recognizing patterns like, this is how I look at things. This person always does this, and this is how I react, or whatever it is. And pretty soon it becomes a personal revelation to you that you know more about yourself and understand how things are going for you. It's a good reducer of stress. Now, I'm here to testify this because most of my journal entries, when I get really good about it, are because we're prompted by some stressful thing in my life. Okay. And, you know, this pandemic would be a prime time to write about what's going on in your life. Keeping a journal helps you resolve problems. I know that when you write things down, all the frustrations and the tears and stuff, actually you words form and write them down. There's something really therapeutic about actually write them down, looking at them all on paper and say, There it is. It's just on this piece of paper. It becomes a little bit more doable for you, okay? To help you reconcile difficulties in relationships. I know this because when you sit there and write back and forth of what you said and what they said and what's going on and what's the problem with this and back, pretty soon, especially in an email, okay? When you write physically in an email, 9 times out of 10, once you're done writing it and you go back and once you've blown off the steam, you don't send that email because you don't need to. You've already realized, you know what? This too will pass and I can work about this tomorrow. And the bottom line is you just feel better about yourself. You're more in control. You got things done. You're on top of it. You're moving forward. You're doing something. Journal really can be an antidote to your life's challenges. So what do you got to do? Just start. Just push the button. Just begin now. Here's some tips to remember though. Keep it simple. Don't start and think you got to write 5 pages. No, a paragraph will do. A paragraph is a good beginning. Be consistent. Set aside a regular time. And with that said, don't fret about being inconsistent, okay? Oh, I forgot to write yesterday. I'm just off. I'm just out of my routine now, and you just feel like you're falling apart. No, just start again the next day. Don't try to make up for lost time, okay? Make it fun for you. Make it enjoyable. Write funny things. Write things that you learned because you kind of want to be something that, it's not so much, it is for your posterity, but it's more for you now. Journaling gives you help now. So make it fun. Doodle on it. Put pictures with it. Add flyers of a place you went to or programs that you attended for a play or whatever it is. Make it more like a scrapbook that way, okay? But make it fun for you. And above now, all else today, there's so many apps out there to help you journal, journaling apps that make it fun. You just type it in and they make a page for you. Or the one I showed you last week, remember? The app, the one-day app, okay? You just click this, say what you want to do, what you did that day, and it's done. Nothing you have to do about it. You can go back and maybe edit a little bit, but it's done. If you just rather speak into a device, then it's done. Just do it, okay? Just do it. And you'll find that once you make that effort, all kinds of things happen for you to keep doing it. So there's my little tips today. Keep a journal. You'll have fun with it. It'll be something that you can look back and you'll realize that, I have something to show for my time. And you'll get an immense satisfaction about it. Okay, see you next time. We'll be doing Roots Tech next time.